Hello, I'm Gustavo Tolosa, and today we're doing our fourth episode of 58 Questions With. And since I'm here in person in Santa Rosa, California, we'll do a 58 Questions with Dr. Goldhamer, the founder of True North. So his office is upstairs. Let's see. It's in two buildings next to the main building. I think these are the stairs. And okay, this will be interesting. Here we go. Let's knock on the door. Hello.
Hello.
I'm not gonna film you for privacy issues. Thank you for letting me come in. Hello, Dr. Goldhamer.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing good.
Thank you for making the time to.
My pleasure.
All right. So here we go. Do you ever take a day off and relax? If so, how?
I relax every day.
Oh,
I make it a point to relax every day.
good. All right. Where were you born?
I was in Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, California.
That's right.
A happy childhood memory?
Very happy childhood. Played a lot of basketball.
Okay. And any memory that jumps out as a really happy memory?
Oh yeah, just about every day that I got to play basketball. I really enjoyed that. We had a lot of opportunities to have fun.
I think a lot of us know about your basketball. How much you love it. If you could travel in a time machine and visit yourself at age 18, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self, knowing what you know now?
Well, I would probably remind myself that the biggest challenges in business involve government regulation, and to become cognizant of the fact that well-intentioned but misguided people can create a lot of roadblocks to being achieving the goals that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little bit naive when I started out, and that unnecessarily delayed a lot of the progress that we could have made if we had known that. So that'd probably be the biggest thing.
Yeah, okay, naiveness, yes. Okay, I agree that. If you were going to be executed for a crime that you obviously did not commit, what would your last meal be?
I think I would probably skip the last meal because I think that I'd probably go into it in more of a fasting state. I think that would probably be the way I'd want to go out, nice and peaceful.
I did not imagine that answer. Okay. What do you think your profession would have been if you did not become a doctor?
I can't really imagine anything else that I would have really been satisfied doing. I think that I picked the thing that gave me the most challenge and I had the most interest in. So I can't really think of something else that would have been as satisfying.
All right, fair. What has been the secret to your long marriage?
Well, my father, who was married for 68 years, told me the secret to a successful relationship. He was a math teacher, and he told me that the secret was understanding the math of marriage. Wow. And so he said it was actually very simple. He said that women are right about 90% of the time, and men are right not so much. So if the husband will always agree with his wife, that means he's going to be right 90% of the time. And if you get 90% right, you get an A.
Wow, what a great...
So he said you just have to know the two magic words to successful relationship. And that's yes, dear, yes. But you can't just say yes, dear.
No.
You have to say it like you mean it. So
like
you have to practice saying it so that you
practice.
can be compelling and convincing.
Yes.
And it happened to be, I married 39 years ago a 95%er. So it was a little bit even easier because there was absolutely no delusion that if we were disagreeing that I was going to be correct.
No. Okay.
Even Stephen Curry only gets about 92% from the free throw line. So,
So you got it. Okay. Who proposed and how?
I proposed to my wife, and she was a transfer student from a different school, and she transferred in. Immediately became interested in her, and I suggested that she join me when I went to Australia to train with Alec Burton in fasting supervision, and she did, and we both realized that was going to work, and came home and got married, and that was 39 years ago.
39 years ago. Wow. Do you have any children?
Yes, we have 2 children, a son, Gar, and a stepdaughter, Kristen, and 2 grandchildren, Colin and Kate. And Colin's just turning 17. He calls me the AO. Stands for the Ancient One.
The Ancient One. Okay. Do you have any pets?
Yeah, we have a dog and a cat, a very cute Labradoodle named Chewy. His actual name is Chewbacca, but we call him Chewy for short. And we have a cat as well. It's perfectly typical cat.
Typical cat. Okay. What is the secret to your long friendship with Dr. Lyle?
Well, Dr. Lyle is probably the smartest person I've ever met. So I've always valued his keen mind and insight, and found him infinitely entertaining. And also, we have a common interest in basketball, and so that's always been a common bond, I think, that we have, and I think a similar sense of life, and we kind of see things often in a similar way.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've worked together for a long time, and I've known him since the summer school before 4th grade.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's a long time. What is the most rewarding part of owning and working here at True North?
Well, there's 2 parts I particularly like. My wife says the entire place was built so that I'd have a place to eat lunch every day. So it's nice to work and live in a place that's that there's integrity and consistency, and so there's a common philosophy, and it makes it easy to make good choices, because that's the only options that are available.
Right.
And True North was, according to my wife, its mission was designed to prove that I'm right and everybody else is wrong about the fact that health results from healthful living. And so our goal has been to not only figure out how to implement healthful living more effectively, but also to prove that is, in fact, an efficient and effective way of helping people regain and maintain health long term. So that's where our research efforts are driven by, and where our day-to-day operation is founded on.
If there are any frustrating parts also of being owning and working at True North, what would that be?
Well, usually it's dealing with the government and well-intentioned, misguided regulations and interventions and prejudice. Challenging the status quo can sometimes can make people uncomfortable. Yeah. And we kind of go out of our way to make as many people as uncomfortable as possible when it comes to this.
Okay. Who do you most admire?
Oh, I admire all kinds of people. As far as on a personal level, my wife and Dr. Lyle are people that I probably have the most daily admiration for. Professionally, there's been a number of people that have been helpful. The guy that I trained with, Alec Burton, in Australia, was very, very helpful, because he really showed me how to get sick people well and how to help people, stay healthy. And then there's been all kinds of people on our staff that have been fabulous. We have a director of research, Tasha Meyer, who's the real thing when it comes to researchers, and she's always keeping me in line and tempering expectations. Our medical director, Peter Sultan, has been with us since he was a medical student, and he's done a fabulous job of kind of guiding the medical management and philosophy at True North Health. We have, I think, close to 70 employees and contractors of all that work hard. Many of them have been with us for decades. We have many patients, or many staff that have been with us for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. And every day they come to work and help, make what we do work better. There's all kinds of people that have been really helpful along the way to our growth and our survival. Probably more names than we could have time to really address.
It's okay. Well, what do you think people admire most about you?
Well, I think that we try to have integrity and consistency, and you know, our mission is very focused, and we try not to waver too much from that philosophy. So I think that probably is I think one of the key characteristics.
Okay. And do you have a book that you really love that you've read?
Oh, the best book.
Best book
Absolutely. It's called The Pleasure Trap. Mastering the Hidden Force that Undermines Health and Happiness. It's a fabulous book. It's very disturbing because it doesn't tell you what you want to know. It does tell you what you need to know to get and stay healthy.
Right.
And it has a lot of original concepts from Dr. Lyle in terms of key conceptual developments that most people really haven't thought too much about. And it's still, it was written a few years ago, but it's still to this day, I think, the most impressive accumulation of information that actually is helpful of anything that I've read.
Since we're talking about books, do you think you will ever write another book?
Yeah, we're in the process now of finishing a book that will come out later this year called Can Fasting Save Your Life? And Dr. Myers is working really hard on key parts of it right now. We're hoping, we have a publisher, so we're hoping that we'll be able to have that available next year.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. What about a favorite movie of all time? Do you have one?
Yeah, there was The Incredible Mr. Lippet. I always like that. Don Knotts becomes a fish in the movie. I always enjoyed that one.
Okay.
And
well, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good movie.
Do you watch TV? I mean, do you have a favorite TV show?
Don't really have a favorite TV show that I can think of.
Okay, that's all right. And a favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday?
Like Thanksgiving or Christmas or 4th of July, I don't know.
Well, we celebrate twice a year the solstice, so that's probably my favorite holiday. We always celebrate the change of season because the traditional holidays we always work. My family tradition has always been to work. Staff is usually off over the holidays. It's actually the only days we really have to work hard because the staff isn't there to do the work. And so we celebrate, instead of celebrating the traditional holidays, we celebrate the two solstices.
What is the best advice you would give someone struggling with the pleasure trap?
Well, the pleasure trap is the hidden force that undermines health and happiness. And so learning to recognize it and then escape it is kind of the secret to getting and staying healthy. So the first thing I do is read The Pleasure Trap so you really understand it. And then if you're having trouble making that escape on your own, come to the True North Health Center. We put you through some fasting and reboot your system.
You will make sure that they will. Okay, all right. What annoys you the most?
Don't like bullies.
Okay.
And so right now we have, again, often well-intentioned but misguided people that are acting as bullies and trying to intimidate people into behave in ways they think is desirable, but may or may not always be appropriate. So I'm more of a libertarian. I'm not a big fan of mandates and a lot of the other kind of things that seem popular right now.
Right. All right. What do you want to be remembered for?
Well, I haven't given that too much thought. I'm focusing every day on trying to not have to be remembered because I'm still going to be around for a while. But I think that the legacy that we're creating through True North and what we're trying to do right now is to create something that will certainly live beyond me in terms of continuing to do this primary research about health and healthful living. We're about to start a large-scale long-term study on what we call a navigator study, which is going to enroll a large number of people, track them the rest of their lives. And what we're really trying to find out is what do you need to do to ensure that you don't end up spending the last 10 or 20 years debilitated like most people do, and avoid that so that you have a good life and a good death. And so the research that we're doing now, which I hope will continue on, will really investigate exactly what actions give the best bang for your buck, so to speak, in terms of diet and lifestyle modification.
Do you play any instruments, any
So
musical instruments?
I did learn piano as a child.
Okay.
I was not particularly talented. I don't have any great acumen for music, but I enjoyed listening to other talented people perform it.
Well, my next question is, what kind of music do you like to listen to?
Well, I like music where you can hear it and it doesn't cause damage to your hearing. I like music where there's actually people that have talent that are able to manipulate the instruments in a pleasing way. Mm-hmm. I like a wide variety of genre of music, but I tend to like more upbeat type music where you can actually understand, if there's words, you can understand the words, and if it's instrumental, where you can actually hear the instruments, that kind of thing. So I guess I'm a little bit old-fashioned in that way.
Okay. Do you play any games?
Yes, I like to play basketball, which is a fabulous game, and all kinds of versions of that. So
any board games?
Yeah, I like to play board games. I don't get a lot of time to do that.
No,
but as a kid, Dr. Lyle and I used to take board games like Stratego, and then we would invent our own rules and modify it. And we used to play Risk too, which was fun, trying to take over the world. I remember that as a kid.
Someone asking me about poker.
Oh yeah, that's I like to play Texas Hold'em poker. Yeah, that's
really? Okay.
It's kind of like mock warfare. It's the one time you can really use every means to try to all is fair in poker. So that's I do like that.
Right.
Again, don't get a lot of time to
No,
do that.
you don't. No. Well, do you think you're funny?
Well, I crack me up. I love my own sense of humor. My wife has a very dry sense of humor. She doesn't really appreciate my version of humor, but Dr. Lyle does. So he is a very keen wit and is a great, much more appreciative of things that are funny.
I thought that you had a dry sense of humor.
Yeah, no,
maybe that's the image that you give.
I can sometimes be a little sarcastic, but yeah.
Okay, but you think, how long, I like this question. How long would you like to live healthy and fully functional?
Well, I want to live my entire life healthy and fully functional, and then go to bed one night and not wake up. So, however long that is probably more genetically determined. Your diet and lifestyle may improve the quality of your life. It's not going to profoundly affect necessarily the quantity of your life. A lot of the limiting factors in life quantity are apparently wired in. For example, we only have evidence of approximately 5 people living past 117 out of 100 billion. So the odds of living past 117 for anybody is probably around 1 in 20 billion. Not tremendous odds. But I just want to live until I die. So whatever that is,
But you don't have a number.
Based on my family history, the algorithms would suggest that I've got a fighting chance to certainly stay fully functional into my 80s, possibly 90s. So we'll see how much we can do there.
What do you think will happen to True North after you die?
Well, the True North Health Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit research foundation made up of a board of directors, and what we're doing now is we're bringing new people onto the board that are young, vibrant doctors and onto our staff. So we're as a lot of us are getting older, we're realizing we need people in their 30s and 40s, and so we've been hiring those people. If you notice around True North Health now, you notice a lot of new people, and they all tend to be young, beginning of career instead of old, end of career kind of people. So that's how we're hoping to extend the work that we're doing.
Yes. Who do you think will live longer, you or Dr. Lyle?
I don't know who's going to live longer, but I am hoping that maybe he'll age out slightly quicker, so that eventually I might be able to beat him. In basketball.
Okay.
It's a tough battle, though. I'll tell you.
It is a tough battle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have any goals that you have not accomplished yet?
Oh yeah, I've got a whole list here. One, we do want to publish this book, Can Fasting Save Your Life, and we want to complete a number of publications of the research that we've already completed. We have a study we want to begin with one of the large HMOs looking at the clinical management of hypertension and then ultimately in lymphoma. We want to get the True North Health Foundation established as a standalone autonomous research organization. Right now it relies heavily on support from the True North Health Center in its operations. We'd like to see it, develop its own capacities, not just in terms of research, but also public education. We have a lot of goals in terms of producing some viral videos and other things that could be effective. So lots of goals. Everything takes a little longer than what it seems like it ought to. And one of my biggest goals, though, is that I want to be able to beat Dr. Lyle in basketball. And I'd even be happy to be able to beat him in free throw shooting, but he just keeps getting better and better, and so it's really frustrating.
Wow.
Very, very hard to beat him.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Is there any place in the world that you would like to visit that you haven't visited yet?
Well, my wife is really into adventure travel, so we've done hiking and thing all over the world. I've seen the best part of travel is to really appreciate that we live in the best place in the world, which is right here in Sebastopol, California. It's just fabulous climate, location, access. And so every time we do travel, it just makes me appreciate that much more that I'm right where I want to be.
What is the best vacation that you ever had?
Well, we've had some.
You have some pretty good,
really good vacations. I remember whitewater rafting down the Fu in South America. That was very interesting. We did some hiking in the ice caves in Alaska. That was really good. We went down the Yangtze River before they put the dam up in China. That was a very exciting adventure. The Galapagos Islands were fabulous. I remember that. And also Machu Picchu. I remember that was quite an experience, hiking over the mountain there.
Okay. Well, you've had
I've got a chance to go to a lot of places. We did a fasting program in Malaysia for the Sultan of Johor Bahru, and met him and fasted 100 people there, and that was very interesting. So I've had a chance to do a lot of travel. I got to study in Australia, and so we got to travel in Australia and New Zealand. That was very, but again, as beautiful as all those places are, the best place I think every day is right here, in Sebastopol. Yeah.
Do you have any regrets in life?
Oh, so many. Yeah, I made some really tactical errors in not realizing that people were lying, thieving bastards, and especially some government officials. And so I had confidence in them when it was really misplaced, and so it really delayed our progress and cost us a lot of time and effort and money, believing that people were being honest when in fact they were absolutely disingenuous. And so probably the biggest regret I have was not listening to my wife when she said, "Oh, don't believe those people," because that And I'm thinking, no, we'll work it out and it'll be fine. And so always listen to your wife. That's one of the key. Always listen to your wife. That's a key lesson.
All right. What's your favorite color? Is it black?
Well, I don't really care. Black is kind of the absence of color, I guess. So it's kind of it leaves open for any interpretation. So maybe that's maybe I like black.
Okay. Have you ever been to a restaurant that you really liked? You have a favorite that you remember?
Well, yeah, I get to eat at the True North Health Center
restaurant
virtually every day, and that's fabulous. They have wonderful salad bar,
how you can beat
hot
that.
bar. And it's all vegan, SOS free. You never have to worry if there's some greasy, slimy, dead, decaying flesh mixed in there, or some possible prion contamination. And so I feel very fortunate to work at True North because every day I get to have health promoting vegan SOS free foods, and everything else after that is a bit of a letdown, I'm afraid.
Yeah. What's your favorite fruit and your favorite vegetable?
Well, usually the one that I'm having that day, but I particularly like mangoes, and I love broccoli. I have to say broccoli is particularly good, but I have a pretty broad. We grow a lot of strawberries and raspberries. It's really hard to beat those. We have 80 fruit trees at our farm. We grow right now, which are fabulous, are the Gravensteins, the Honeycrisp Aspels. I mean, these are just delicious and fabulous.
All right. Do you have a favorite starch?
Well, I would say, wow. So many, but I like potatoes. I like sweet potatoes, and I like kabocha squash is definitely my favorite squash. We grow that, and we make fabulous soup out of kabocha squash and carrots and potatoes and leeks and stuff like that.
I was having the blend here with kabocha.
Yeah, it's
wonderful.
That's a fabulous squash. Yeah.
Right. Okay. What is your all-time favorite meal?
Well, it just depends on the day.
On the day.
But I always like, here we always have fresh fruit, oatmeal, greens for breakfast. We have salad, steamed vegetables, potatoes, rice, or beans at lunch. We have something out of the Health Promoting Cookbook or the Bravo Cookbook or Kathy's Straight Up Cooking or AJ's Cookbook, some kind of vegan SOS free. And it's an all-time favorite, and it just depends on the day. You've had one, and then you want to have the other one. So,
do you cook yourself?
I do a lot of food preparation at the house. Most times for dinner, if I'm able to get home for dinner, we have a big 4-pound salad bowl that we make salad in, and then we have steamed vegetables, and then we'll have either maybe some brown rice, or we might have some baked potato, or we might have some rice pasta or whatever, but usually pretty simple. The longer you eat like this, usually the less fancy you have to get to where you enjoy it. So, but I do a lot of food preparation, and I like stuff that's quick, fast, easy, and simple.
Yeah. Okay, here is a question that people ask a lot: of sugar, oil, and salt, which is the least harmful?
Yes, well, it's like saying which is worse, dying from drowning or dying from burning to death. When you burn, you think, well, you might die before you actually burn because the smoke might take you out. The drowning, but you end up dead either way. So salt, oil, and sugar are all highly processed fractionated food products that need to be avoided. I think the hardest one to avoid is salt.
Yes.
Because the oil, people are starting to recognize that. The salt, the sugar, people are starting to recognize. Salt, they still think if you don't add, you have to add salt. Just like people used to think you had to add sugar, you had to add oil. Now we know that's not true.
Right. What was your favorite subject in school? If you had one.
It was PE. I loved basketball.
Really?
Yeah, I played basketball, and that was
that was your favorite.
Yeah, that was the best.
Okay,
that was what I looked forward to doing. The rest of it,
You have kind of answered this question in other questions, but what do you admire most about Dr. Lyle?
Well, I have to say his intellect is definitely right there at the top of the list. He is really creative, and he's able to apply intelligence to practical, useful issues. So, a lot of people are smart and they can do all kinds of things, but it doesn't do me any good.
No.
His knowledge has been applied in a very practical way, which is how to help people live better. He try to understand how things work, and so that's been, and he has absolute integrity, and so I think that's probably what I like the most. Also, I think he appreciates my sense of humor more than most, so I think that's probably another thing.
What makes you most happy in life, and what makes you most sad?
Well, I think what makes me happy in life is being able to do the work that I do, and the thing that makes me sad is things that interfere with me being able to do the work I do. The thing I don't like is if I don't like injuries that prevent me from being able to engage in my normal activities. So I don't like it if I get hurt, and I don't like it. I don't like anything that interferes with my normal routine. That's
Yeah. If you had all the money and all the resources in the world forever, what would you do with it?
Well, I would dramatically expand True North Health Foundation's public education efforts. I'd get involved in, substantially trying to attract the best and the brightest people to help us fulfill that public education efforts. We're doing that on the True North Health Center in terms of bringing in the clinicians and the people that we need. And obviously, I would probably dramatically expand True North Health Center and maybe into a custom facility that was really perfectly designed to meet our needs. there's some limitations to the center in the sense that we're in the city, so it's not, we have to work really hard to keep the quietness and the things that we'd ideally like to do. The accommodations are not, if we had unlimited resources, we could have, fancier accommodations and make it even more comfortable for people. So that's where I would do is I put the resources into trying to fulfill the foundation's missions of public education and research.
Okay. Do you have any secret indulgences?
Well, I like cashews, and I'd eat more of those than I should, but I have a rule. What I do is I keep them in the freezer.
Yeah.
If I bring them out, I measure out an ounce, and then I put it away. And the rule is if I ever go back for more, then I can't have cashews. And that I did that starting about 30 some years ago. I still have cashews in the house, so.
Okay.
But I like those a little more than I probably should.
Do you speak another language? And if not, what language would you like to speak?
I hardly speak English properly, so it's really been my entire focus. I did go, and as a child, I went to Hebrew school and tried to learn Hebrew. Don't remember too much except a few curse words. And I never really could master Spanish, although that might be the most practical language, But like I said, I really have trouble even getting the English language mastered.
From whom in this life did you learn the most from? It could be a parent, or it could be a
professional. I have to say I learned a lot from Dr. Alec Burton in Australia about fasting. I learned a lot from Dr Lyle about how to think and how things work, and how people work. And I learned the most probably from my wife, Jennifer Morano, on how to be a better person.
Okay, all right, very good. Let's see here. We're getting to the end.
And I also learned a lot from my son, Gar, about how to be more patient.
Okay. What makes you laugh?
Oh, gosh, just about everything makes me laugh. It's hard to...
Okay, well, that's good. Laughter is healing.
Yeah, no, I do a lot of laughing.
Okay, and what makes you angry?
Usually things or people that interfere with my ability to do my work. So that's usually the biggest frustration are people that interfere with that process.
If you were going to eat off plan, what would you choose?
I would choose, if I could choose, I would choose to stay on plan. I think that I just generally find it's a lot easier to not eat than to eat off plan.
Right.
I would say the things that I've been exposed to, there's probably the biggest contamination are foods that have inadvertent salt in them. It's sometimes difficult even when you're working really hard. That people don't even realize they're incorporating salt, even when, and then of course you can tell as soon as you.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm pretty vehement about, I decided many years ago to do an experiment. This was 44 years ago. I was going to do an experiment for 50 years. No animal foods, no meat, fish, fowl, eggs, dairy products, and try to avoid all salt, oil, and sugar contamination. And I've been diligent about trying to apply those principles. And fortunately, working at True North, it's easy because there's no choice.
Sure. Yeah. Which way do you think toilet paper should be put on the roll?
Where it goes over the top, not against the wall.
Okay.
And this is one of the areas where I must be wrong, because my wife believes it should go down, wall down. But I strongly believe it's much more efficient to come over the top.
No, but I'm sure you're wrong if your wife thinks the other way. Yeah. Okay. What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Well, it's between two things. I just can't decide which is a bigger adventure. One was getting married 39 years ago, and the second was having children. I combinate one of those two.
One of those two. Okay, well, good. Okay, what is your favorite season of the year? If you have one.
Wow. Well, I'd have to say... I have to say summertime. Okay. Summertime, Yeah, summertime, because you're getting the harvest and it's good.
Yeah. Well, summertime here is beautiful.
Yeah, it's
It's
beautiful.
nice.
Well, we also have a really nice spring and a lovely fall, and our winter's really
I
mild, so
know.
it's really tough.
It's tough. Okay, if you could have a superpower, like reading somebody's mind or becoming invisible or something, what would it be?
It would be to be infinitely compelling in terms of encouraging people to attempt to make these diet and lifestyle changes so they can see for themselves the health results from healthful living.
All right. Has COVID changed anything in your personal or professional life?
Well, it's made me aware of how incredibly vulnerable people are to even the slightest amounts of stress, and how willing they are to give up their freedoms and their independent thought, and how vulnerable they are to being manipulated by, oftentimes, again, maybe well-intentioned but misguided people that don't understand that health results from healthful living. And that the focus needs to be getting healthy so that you can handle these life's challenges without falling apart, rather than pretending that some magic pill, potion, or powder is going to alleviate your ability, your requirement for living within healthful norms.
Okay. Well, last two questions. 3 things you would like to improve at True North.
Well, we're working hard right now at upgrading the physical plant so it's that fasting can be somewhat less miserable.
Okay.
Improving our research capacities and improving our communication capacities. So, we've recently introduced live streaming. We've upgraded websites. We've got a new outdoor gazebo. We're putting in, trying to make it so our ability to communicate both to our active patients and our support patients and support our research efforts can be expanded. Everything takes longer than it seems like it should, but we keep chipping away at it.
All right. Okay, last question. What 3 words will you choose to describe yourself? It's okay. Take your time.
Focused, tenacious, and resilient.
Okay. Well, we finished the 58 questions, but would you like to say anything to people out there?
No, just remember, health results from healthful living. You want to be healthy, you got to pay the price. The price involves eating a healthy diet, sleep, and exercise. The healthy diet, from our viewpoints, a whole plant food diet that's SOS free, and that fasting periodically may be an accentuating benefit.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Very good.
Okay. Bye-bye.